Welcome, true conceivers, back to the Heroic Origins podcast. I'm Dave, and Terrance is out this week celebrating, just celebrating. He's getting ready for the season. So, but normally we're just two comic book nerds doing what we love to do, which is make up new superheroes. But the second nerd this time is perhaps a familiar face. Let me bring in Troy Fleur of the Rocky Mountain Geek Tank. Welcome, Troy. Nerds. That's right. So Troy, why don't you tell people about yourself once again?
Oh my gosh. Hi everybody. Great to be here. I would say great to see you, but obviously we can't see you. Wink, wink. We're not hacking into your computer and looking at you. I do a ton of stuff. The best, easiest way to catch my weirdness is every Monday night live on Facebook. I'm part of a group called Rocky Mountain Geek Tank. We cover all things geeky. Usually we get sidetracked a lot into talking about NASA, Star Trek, and energy vehicles, EVs, electric vehicles. I'm sorry, because one of my co-hosts is deeply fascinated in that stuff. And when I can, I steer conversations back to stuff like science fiction movies, horror movies, board games, video games, that kind of stuff. And our third co-host is kind of like our silent partner. He's there just to gosh, would he be like the super it of us? He's
the George Harrison of Geek Tank.
He's the muscle and the unfiltered voice of things that we think. I think it would be a good way to put that.
Well, yeah. So check out.
I didn't say. Yeah, Facebook. Sorry, Facebook.
And it's on.
It's on
Facebook.
You
do it on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes, we're Twitch. Twitch is the other place.
And you do it on, it's Mondays at...
Mondays at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you want to join us live, we try to interact with the audience as they type to us as much as we can. But if you missed our show or you want to go back and check out our previous shows, all of that stuff's stored out there on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, whichever of those three you prefer.
That's right. All right.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, Dave. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's always good to have you back, Troy. You were a guest a couple times on the audio version of the show, and now this is your second time on the video version of the show.
Yes.
But I know you kind of know the routine, but I'm going to go over it real quick here. So what we're going to do is take some random words and pictures, then riff off of them until we come up with a fully fleshed out superhero. And we're going to start with a time limit. There's one 40-minute regulation brainstorming period. If we still haven't finished our hero by then, we'll move on to a lightning round with 2 additional minutes per character element and 1 5-minute revision period. Now, get ready because it's collaborating time.
I was prepping to say it with you. I didn't realize you had it all automated.
We have that's right. We now have a graphic.
It's hard to coordinate over any kind of thing like this because there's that slight delay.
It's interesting. It's interesting though. We've tried. It seems like the last couple times, even with the delay, we actually have gotten it right.
Nice.
Which is kind of weird. I actually hear a delay. Between you, like if we were to do it together, let's just do it.
Okay, yeah.
1, 2, 3. It's
collaborating time.
That actually may end up being synced because we are maybe reacting. I don't know. The video kind of ends up syncing up, so it's weird.
And for those of you who don't get the reference, it's a reference to the Thing from Fantastic Four because his catchphrase is "It's clobbering time."
Yes, thank you. I'm glad that you get it because maybe if you get it, other people actually get it too. So.
Well, for a while, the Thing was one of my favorite superheroes. I don't know for what reason. It's not like I could say X, Y, and Z is why he was my favorite. It was just something about him I really liked, and I collect toys. And that's...
Well, the Thing was kind of like he was kind of the anti-hero of superheroes for a long time. That he was kind of Wolverine before Wolverine, because. But I mean, once Wolverine came on, he I think took the space that the Thing was doing. But the Thing was, he would sometimes be the bad guy, because he would be so depressed, he would go off and he would just decide, he didn't like Reed Richards and all that stuff. So I mean, I think, I think there was
that makes sense then because I lean towards the anti-heroes.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that was thing. So yeah, I think once things got really gritty in the '80s, uh, I think that his kind of star stopped shining quite as much. But I think that was the original draw. The original draw.
Probably when the movie came out.
Well, that would have been in the 2000s, right? So, well, there was a movie in the there
That,
was
yeah,
the Roger Corman film
I
that
have
came
not
out.
seen
Did you
that
see
one, by
that?
the way. I seen clips of it, so I am aware of the level of horribleness it's supposed to be. But I would spend the time to watch it if it were
It's
available.
yeah, it's pretty bad. But I mean, it's what's interesting is I actually think the Doctor Doom costume is pretty good. But the guy who's acting in it, he's sort of
Sorry, I'm out of focus now. I need
well,
more coffee.
Namor coffee,
I need
Namor.
more coffee, and then I'll
Did,
focus.
did you see? Did you happen to see Wakanda Forever by chance?
No,
The
I'm gonna
new
have to.
Black Panther movie? No.
Oh, when you said Wakanda Forever, for some reason my hearing, um, I heard what kind of forever, which sounds like it could be a title of a movie.
Yeah, it's sort of like Some Kind of Wonderful or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
but no, I have not seen Wakanda Forever, but is something I definitely want to see.
yeah.
Is it hit Disney Plus yet?
I don't think so.
Because if it has, I have no excuse for not watching it. I need
Oh,
to
I
watch
think it's still in the
it.
theaters, but I guess
I,
sometimes they're actually getting stuff out at the same time. So no, but I believe it's still just in the theaters.
okay.
Anyway, I don't know. I liked it better
We're
than the first Black Panther. So
I'm gonna try this again, see if this
well,
works.
just that's
Okay.
pretty good.
Oh, well, you know what? You don't have to
I
see
think we
me.
should. Yeah,
I've
let's.
got a face for radio.
Okay. Anyway, hey folks. Let's get to the task at hand.
Let's do it.
I'm going to pull up our nifty little outline here, and also enhance our us a little bit here. Krampus Troy and Santa Dave. There we go. So okay, we're gonna start out here. We got some random words that I picked at. Well, I randomized ahead of time, but I'm gonna um, bring them forward here in just a sec.
Oh, that will help.
They magically appear. There we go. All right. So, but let's get our random image before we go into the words. Okay, I'm not going to start with the default one here. Okay, this is the first random image that comes up. Do you like that? Should we just go ahead and use that?
Well, that's a for me. Improv isn't about whether you like it or not. You just take the suggestion and run with it.
Well, then this is our
So
picture.
yeah, let's do that.
All right. Let's put it in here. Okay, now I got to shrink it a little bit.
Somewhere somebody's like, okay, we got to do a photo shoot. What do you have? I've got a spaceman outfit and access to an abandoned building. Okay,
And a toilet, no less.
it's toilet.
So, yeah. All right, so we've got the first word we have is Philistine, materialistic in outlook, uncultured. Frantling, that's a mating call of a peacock. Mating call of a peacock. And then patibulate, to execute by hanging.
Ugh.
And then we have our photo, which is an astronaut sitting on the crapper.
Mhm.
All right, so we are going to bring in our timer here. So we're not brainstorming yet.
Okay.
I can refashion everything now. Bum, bum, bum. So what's irritating about this is... Come on. Oh, I should stop the actual timer. Okay, the timer's not really going.
Does the timer count tech problems?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna move that timer back. If I'm lucky, it'll actually let me take it back to 40. Hey, there we go. All right, we are now on the clock. All right, so do any of those what strikes you about any of those words or the picture there?
Well, for the first word, I had to look up because I'd never had heard well, actually, I guess I've only heard of Philistine, but
Yeah,
patibulate.
from the Bible.
I thought patibulate would be. I thought hanging somebody was referred to hanging somebody, so I had to look it up. Hanged on a gallows was the first one that popped up because I guess there's other ways. Let's avoid that one because that's too dark, and it's not the time of the year to
Too
be that
dark
dark.
for Krampus.
Well, Krampus is the good guy. Santa's the bad guy.
Well, Krampus. Well, that's right. Krampus steals the kids and takes them on a trip. I mean,
Yeah.
he
Well,
he,
well,
he offers them.
he gives parents that much needed time alone that they need. Um, so
Okay.
let's just because it's funny to me, let's go with frantilating,
Well, yeah,
frantlin.
we can. I mean, we can go with. I mean, I figure we're kind of taking. We can piece together any of these things, but yeah, if there's something that inspires you from Frantling peacocks, um, I mean, that's the mating call there. So it's going to be about sex, is what you're saying. We're going to have a sex hero. Okay,
If you yeah, well, it could be just snuggling and
it's just about it's about affection. It's about
mhm.
the cuddling is the most important part. So okay, so you've got there are two things that stand out to me about peacocks, and that's well, actually one thing, it's the big tail,
Mhm.
and but then we've got a mating call here. So, but the tail is kind of a part of the mating dance, right? Isn't that's
Yes,
how they
I think
attract the female?
I think the majority of the birds is a combination of the singing and the dancing. That all birds have that kind of both visual and audio aspect that they're doing. I just played a board game last night all about birds. So
Oh, okay.
um,
Well, hey, what do you know?
um,
So you're going to come in as kind of an expert here. Um,
I wouldn't say
well,
that.
well, more of an expert than me, but okay. So I mean, so we're talking about like something maybe sonic, or maybe it's the song. Maybe there's like a song. There's a song and dance or something. I mean, I like the idea that there's a lot of colors. There's an array of colors
Yeah,
that goes
definitely.
into it too. But I mean, it seems like, and I like that it's like a seductive hero, sort of like. Do you remember Star Fox?
No, I remember Starfire, totally different character.
There was a character that was in the Avengers for a while. He's technically Thanos' brother, and
Huh.
his name is Star Fox, and he's from Titan, the Moon Titan, and he was an Eternal from that branch of the Eternal family. And well, his special power was that he could elicit blissful emotions in the people that he was talking to. And at the time, when he first came out in the 80s, that wasn't seen as like a big problem, but there was, later on, I think he was kind of deemed like a more like the Purple Man and Jessica Jones, like maybe he was
Oh,
manipulating
yeah,
people.
not such a nice guy.
Yeah.
There's also a pretty popular video game from Super Nintendo called Star Fox, which is where the catchphrase "Do a barrel roll" came from. Side note trivia there. Um, yeah, alluring, charismatic. Um,
Yeah.
since we're doing a
Colorful.
hero, yeah. Well, since we're doing a hero, we could go kind of that direction with it. Um,
Well, do
yep.
we want to make it like a? I mean, do we want to pull any of the other stuff in here? I mean, we could
Yeah,
have
well,
the
the image we want to use, right? We have to
because
part of it's combining everything.
well, part of the fun can be that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we should feel free to go whichever way we want to, but I think it's kind of nice to get clues there. So, I mean, do we want to say this is a person who that was a an astronaut who ended up getting these powers from space or something?
Oh, that's a like we were just talking about Fantastic Four. Yeah, that could be the classic trope of that of an astronaut doing astronaut stuff and getting hit by some cosmic entity and giving them powers. And it hit him while he was on the bathroom. Although if my co-host guy was here, he would say astronauts don't use the bathroom like that and go into detail about the actual bathrooms on a shuttle and
Well,
on.
well, I'm kind of curious though about let's think about how do you get to be an astronaut sitting on a john like that? I mean, this strikes me as a Planet of the Apes type of thing.
Oh,
What if it's a Planet of the Peacocks? What if it's like they flew up into space, they crash landed here, and the peacocks? This is like a peacock toilet,
mhm.
and which is technically all toilets are, but I mean in the sense that this is a bird toilet. So he's in a bird. Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
So he actually goes to a planet of anthropomorphized peacocks, and he ends up getting peacock powers from them.
Would it be an alternate universe where somehow NBC took over the world and their mascot somehow mutated and took over everything?
What if the mascot for what if it's not mutated so much as NBC was founded by like an alien peacock,
Oh, yeah.
And so this was like their god, like the peacock god. So it's like NBC became the dominant network on the planet, and it turned out that their peacock was a living alien that decided to dominate the planet.
Mhm. Yeah, I like it. Obviously, for copyright reasons, we'd need to change it to something other than NBC, probably. I would imagine. Although we are parodying it, and there's a certain freedom, wiggle room
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, and well, we can always just say it was a yeah. We don't have to name the network, but I
Mm,
mean that's sort of the key though is that this person has landed on a planet of peacock that's dominated. Maybe it's not all peacocks, but there's humans there too.
mhm.
But
Yeah, well, if we're doing a Planet of the Apes thing, yeah, it should be humans, and the peacocks are like riding horses and rounding them up.
or at least I mean, um, should it be horses? I mean, what? How do how should we differentiate this from Planet of the Apes? Do we
When
want
you
to?
just said, "Should it be horses?" I'm like, "No, it's humans. They ride humans around like
Well,
horses."
why? No, why? You see, I love that. Why don't we do that? So
Why
the
not?
humans are horses. Humans
Yeah.
are horses in this reality, and they're ridden by alien peacocks.
I think these peacocks should be only slightly larger than normal Earth peacocks, but
Sure.
large enough that you recognize that they're larger. So, like maybe primate-sized peacocks.
What if okay, Avatar's out, right?
Yeah, I have not seen it, but it
Yeah.
is out.
Well, I haven't seen it either, and I don't know that I'm going to see it, but I just remember from the first Avatar that they sort of plugged each other's into each other with
Yes.
those little cords
Yeah.
or whatever, those organic cords. What if it's a peacock thing like that? What if the peacocks and the humans merge, and that's what it is? The heroes actually emerge of this alien peacock and human stuff, and so they like ride on their heads. That's like the peacock has, it's almost like this all these feathers coming out, um, and that's where you get the peacock powers. Which what are those powers anyway? I guess there's a mating call of some sort.
Um, yeah. So,
Maybe I'm just saying maybe they decide to work together. Maybe they decide, or maybe there's like they decide to rebel. You know, and maybe they even go back to the regular Earth. Maybe they go back to the original Earth or
well,
something.
the Mel. I never heard this term before, which is well, I'm not in. I forgot what the word is called, but it's a male peacock's called a male peafowl, which sounds like
Peacock.
something that would happen if there's like sports that involve urination.
Yes.
The male peafowl, which has very long tail feathers that have eye-like markings and can be erected and fanned out in display. What if the eyes actually functioned and the eyes of the tail are hypnotic,
Okay. I like it.
swirly eyes?
So is it so we've got like it's a human who's bonded with an alien peacock, and the peacock is able to hypnotize folks,
And
but
this
they
is how
decide to
they,
do it for
yeah.
good.
Yes, and perhaps this ability is how they were able to control the humans to make them animals to well, humans are animals there, but but to ride them, like that's how they control them with riding them is by hypnotizing them.
Okay, so
This is so weird.
this is weird. Okay, um, hero bonded, let's see, boned, bonded with an alien peacock on a peacock planet, peacock controlled alternate Earth. Did they return? So, did they return to regular Earth, or are we?
Yeah,
Are
let's
they
make it.
heroes?
What is the if we're doing it in the Marvel universe? Is it like Earth's 90 something or I forget the
Oh,
numbers?
there's like Earth. Well, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be going to Earth 2, which is the High Evolutionary created the planet with animals that were evolutionized into anthropomorphized humans. So it could be like that. It's like there's an Earth 2, and then you go back to regular Earth, but you've got peacock powers.
Uh,
Okay, so back to real Earth and became a hero with peacock powers. Okay. Okay, so the powers are hypnotic voice? What would be, or hypnotic song and
Hypnotic
dance?
Eyes, um,
Hypnotic eyes.
which trigger from the when he spreads his colorful tail feathers.
Hypnotic eyes when spreading tail feathers. Okay. Okay. Now this guy was an astronaut,
Yes.
got lost in space and landed on strange new world. Okay.
Did you capitalize Lost in Space as a reference to Lost in Space?
No, that's the font. You made fun of it last time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
That's
making
right.
fun of it again. I've apparently have short-term memoried that information out.
No, it's okay. It's just the font that I like.
I just like that whole sentence has a reference to Lost in Space and Strange New World.
That's right. Well, hey, we're not beyond references.
Good.
Okay, so uh, so is the name of the superhero the Peafowl?
The Peafowl.
Could be the Fowler.
Well, I don't know why they have that different term, because another thing I'd found is it's just regardless of the gender, it's peacock. I think if I'm reading this
So the
correctly,
peacock is the
peacock.
species term. The male version of a peacock is, so that means it's a peahen, presumably. If it's a, that doesn't make sense. Is that right?
I'm failing at my Google foo here. It seems.
Okay.
But like, yeah,
Well,
like the first thing that popped up says a male peafowl, so I don't know. Let me click on that and actually see what that says. A large crested pheasant. So the pheasant.
yeah. Wow, that's pretty bad. Let me see.
Yeah.
What synonym for peacock? The coxcomb, the fop,
The dandy.
the dandy,
Um,
the show off, the swell, the popinjay. Actually, popinjay I kind of like.
yeah, sounds like that could be like a 1930s jazz musician, Popinjay.
Let's see. What is it actually? What's a vain, conceited person, especially one who dresses or behaves extravagantly. Also a parrot. Is it not?
Yeah, does it not include peacock?
What is considered a popinjay?
Ah,
Well, yeah. So it's okay. Well,
I like how they say, which is too bad. Clearly,
what is a muley person? I don't know why that came up. Okay. Um. Yeah, I don't know. I like popinjay, but it's
yeah.
not really a parrot. I mean, it is. I mean, it could be.
It
You want
says
to do?
who
Why don't we
struts around
tentatively?
like a parrot. It did
What?
say like it said like a parrot, so it was
Yeah.
at least a simile.
Well, it'll be. It speaks. It talks.
Yeah, let's
Well,
go with Popin.
let's do it temporarily. That's our placeholder at the very least. The popinjay.
Oh yeah, if maybe we could come up with a name that's Pop is short for it. Um,
What do you mean?
I'm trying to think of something like that that could, if Pop could be, what kind of names start with like
Popcorn.
Poppin,
Mary Poppins.
Popple?
Marty Poppins.
I'm sorry, names that start with P-O-P.
Oh, you mean his name? Oh, you want to have like Peter Poppins or something?
Yeah, like Poposh, Popod, Poppy, P-O-P-A-I,
And
Popak.
this could be a woman, by the way. It actually
Oh,
could
that's
be.
true.
So we could
How,
do like Poppy.
although with yeah, I feel like it's funnier if it's a guy making
Yeah,
fun
you're
of
right.
that.
You're right.
Popeye.
Pop. That's it's one of the few names that would be. Well, let's see. Well, let's. Well, what do you? I'm just curious.
Popin? Is
Pope.
that
Oh,
it?
it could be Pope.
Pope. Yeah, Pope is a good name.
Could be like Pope. Chilson or something. I don't know.
Pope
Pope.
Nathaniel J. P&J. Poppin' J.
Well, let's see. A Pope could be a first name or a last
Yeah.
name. Let's live that as a placeholder. But I want to kind of get an idea of like what kind of a hero is this? I mean, if he has,
Hell if I know.
because if he's hypnotizing people, I mean,
Mhm.
that's very, very powerful, but it's also,
Yes,
or but it's also um kind of unethical, right? So
definitely.
what kind of hero is this? And is it the Purple Man just decides to be a good guy?
Oh,
You know?
what if I mean, well, part of his character arc growth would be coming to realization that he has to be careful with how he uses his powers, which is something a lot of superheroes have to deal with. And that eventually making the decision, I'm not going to, I have to be careful with how I use my power because I don't want to cross that line into becoming a villain. And like the ethical ways you could use it, or at least in my mind, would be like Wonder Woman's lasso of
Oh,
truth.
like a yeah.
So if he uses his hypnotic power to make people tell the truth.
Well, so I'm curious here. Let's talk about what is so we know that he's got this bird that's sort of attached to his head,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
right.
very conspicuous. So, I mean, I'm presuming they would they detach when they were in civilian mode? Would he stick them in a backpack? I mean, is there a secret identity, or is it a situation where the the peacock is able to appear invisible to people?
What if it's can it its default mode is ethereal and invisible, and it takes effort to make it visible. So when he uses his powers, it has to become visible so the tail feathers can be seen. Is that did that make sense? So when he's
So it's naturally invisible.
naturally invisible and ethereal, so he can sit down and not like hurt it, um,
What
and
if
is like fused to him, so he can't. They can never get away from each other, which is irritating to both of them.
What if
And
it's
then, yeah,
what if it's the other way around, that the default is visible but they have to make an effort for it to be inconspicuous. And so there's always a chance of it, them getting distracted and it appearing.
well, that gives him access to the power all the time. The reason I was thinking of it the other way is that when he hypnotizes somebody, the length of the
Oh,
hypnosis is limited to it being in the same.
I see what you're
Um,
saying. I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay.
and then when you draw it
Um
in the comic, when it's you would do that little dotted line to like indicate that it's invisible to everyone else.
so this is kind of an interesting question here. Does the hypnosis only work as long as the tail feathers and the eyes are visible? I
I
mean,
would
if
say yes.
and by that I mean only when the person is looking at them.
Hmm.
Because if they were to turn their back, would they be immune?
Yeah, I would say so. And then that way, part of the first hypnotizing thing you'd have to do is to say, "Don't look away from me. Look into my eyes."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so that would be so that is pretty limiting. So I,
Mhm.
I actually kind of feel like this guy's gonna get shot really quick. So I mean, what is
It's a
his
5-minute movie.
well, I mean the first half of it takes place on the Peacock planet.
Right.
And then he comes back and he dies. But no, I mean, like, I mean that determines what kind of hero he is, because he's probably more stealthy, right? He
Mhm.
would probably be somebody who would not just show up at a bank robbery and try to stop everything.
Uh, Um, Give me a moment. See, we're playing around in the field of NASA, which makes me like feel uh,
Wait,
ill propelled and underarmed not having my co-host with me.
well, this
Um,
guy's well. You want to see
uh,
if
no, no, he's teaching today. So,
oh, okay.
um, let's see. So, there's been a few astronauts that go from the astronaut gig into politics.
Oh, so he could be a politician.
So, yeah, what
Again,
if?
how unethical is that? Well,
Um,
because it's like because that would be ideal there, because what you'd do is you'd hypnotize somebody and say, "Come on, sign the legislation," you know, and just go in there and just talk to the president. It's like, but this temporary, boy, the temporary. I'm just going to put that as a weakness there. That
Yeah, so,
the Yep.
John Glenn. I knew the name, it just wasn't coming to me. So John Glenn was, the first astronaut elected to Congress when he won the Senate seat in 1974. So, it's not unheard of, astronauts becoming politicians. And since we'd obviously say that this guy has an ego to connect it to the peacock aspect, I could see him pursuing once he realizes he has these powers, because you could look at it as, and this all comes to politics, because it's always there's a level of subjectivity based on what laws actually do society good, and I don't want to get into that. But from his perspective, he could see, like, for example, if I can get this bill passed to get kids free lunches at school, then that's a good use of my power, type thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that I guess that it also depends on what level of politician this person decides to be. Do you
Right.
want this person to be on the school board or like a local,
Um,
the mayor? I mean,
the whole
you've
the
got.
whole, the whole comic arc is him starting like on the school board and having to work his way
Did
up to
you ever
president.
did you ever read the comic Ex Machina?
No, I have not.
It was by
Is he
Brian K. Vaughan, and it was
is he on
kind
the
of
school board?
a. He wasn't a school board, but he was a guy that basically was a superhero. It did not start as a school board, but it was a superhero that basically stopped 9/11,
Oh wow.
and he got elected mayor. And but his power was like control over machines and stuff. That's why he was Ex Machina. But it was the whole premise basically was like, what if a superhero is a politician? And it was excellent series. Well, Brian K. Vaughan does only good stuff, so
Okay.
anything that he does. Okay, well, I love that idea. Let's make him
Yeah.
a politician. So, all right, so um, astronaut. So this is okay. Astronaut turned politician, and so the story for this character is we're just going to be following him as he starts out as as a grassroots politician. You know, if he's an astronaut, though, he probably would be able to skip
A few
some of the
steps.
like the alderman positions and stuff. He
Well,
probably
let's go straight to mayor of a small town.
okay.
Not that I have any real life experience with that.
No, no, of course not. Yeah, you don't have anybody that you could use as a
There's
reference or anything.
nobody I know at all that's close to me that's been in that position.
So I'm just imagining the mayor in your town just manifesting a peacock
Uh,
on her head and do the dishes. Um,
you is that why I do the dishes? I thought I did it because I was a nice guy. Dang.
hey, I feel like boy, that is a harsh limit to say that hypnotism only works while they're looking at you. So I mean, you would have to dance around if you wanted them to do anything complex, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You would have to move around with them. Boy, okay.
I don't. Well, I
Um,
mean, well, I don't know. Maybe instead of it being both ways, maybe you have to have. It has to start with direct, like, mutual eye contact, but then you have to maintain the eye contact, and it has to be direct. It can't be over video cameras and such.
yeah.
That way, it still limits it a lot, but not as much as in, because then you can never hypnotize somebody that's blind.
Well, we did originally start with a mating call, so it could be the sound of the call as well as the feathers or something. But well,
Yeah,
but actually, not being able to hypnotize somebody who's blind, I mean, that's totally legit.
yeah.
Well, I think I like to lean into the limitations. Let's lean into the limitations.
I like how this can then become a thing where Daredevil's the character that has to come after him.
Well, and he's leaning towards being a villain again.
What was a
But
misunderstanding, like in She-Hulk?
well, what if it's actually okay? Okay, okay.
And
I'm
then they
trying to
make
get the
love.
heroic spin on this. Oh, what do you mean about She-Hulk? What do you mean?
Well, like how when they tangled in the TV series, they're
Oh,
both
sure.
heroes, but they were both fighting because it was a misunderstanding kind of thing. So when Daredevil first runs into the Peacock, it could be a misunderstanding thing, and then they end up making love. So
What? Hey, we're gonna make love with peacocks. This is okay. So, okay. I got an idea here. So we've already established that this peacock in this alternate world was a peacock that was worshipped by NBC, and it ended up taking over the planet and with for its peacock brethren, alien peacock brethren. But there may be other aliens trying to control the world. So and they may be invisible aliens, just like
mhm.
these. And so maybe what it is his goal to become a politician is actually to to fight against the aliens that are trying to take over through politics. So it's basically invisible alien versus invisible alien.
Yeah, and I think it'd be good to have a moral difference between the peacock that's fused with him, giving him the power, and himself. So maybe he is leaning towards the more narcissistic, corrupt aspect, and then the alien is more honorable and trying to do the right thing. Or you could reverse that and make the alien slightly more narcissistic and trying to do unethical stuff, and then the astronaut's the one trying to rein back what's happening.
Well, I kind of figure like the alien, if the alien wants to work with the human and bring then the alien must be thinking like, I believe humans should be autonomous. I believe in the autonomy of humans, and I regret what. So it's an activist. It's basically
I like that. I like that.
yeah. So the heroic, and then yeah, you're right. The astronaut is probably yeah, because astronauts get a lot of media attention, right? So it could easily be a vain astronaut, but he may he may not necessarily have a desire to rule people, but he may be vain, and that comes
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap. Why didn't I see this? He's not a regular astronaut. He's a rich billionaire who can afford to build his own spaceships and fly into space.
Oh, okay. Well, then he probably wouldn't be mayor. He'd probably be president.
Well, but he can't. Well, he'd have to be a step below He could. He's not president yet, but he's trying to get into the politics game. And so
What if
he's.
he's a millionaire? What if he's he's not a billionaire. He's not as rich as Elon Musk,
Mhm.
but he wants to be like Elon Musk, and
Right.
so he spends
So he
all
could
of his
afford it.
money. He
He could.
spends all of his money. He goes broke deciding to go into space.
Yeah, to buy a ticket. Yeah.
Or no,
I,
maybe he even well yeah, okay.
oh,
So he's okay.
he didn't build his own rocket ship. He bought a ticket on someone else's rocket ship. So he's not even a qualified astronaut. He's just a
Okay.
passenger on a spaceship. I like where this is
Wanna
going.
be Elon Musk.
Mhm. I think he should have, like, at a younger age, been a billionaire and made a ton of bad money decisions and lost a lot of his money, like, trying to start, like, a steak business and starting a failed college that, ended up getting debunked, and just really bad business decisions that sucked out all that money.
Okay.
Bitcoin, Bitcoin, if you've
Former
seen it, went
billionaire who
under.
made a lot of bad decisions and goes broke. Yeah, maybe partially through Bitcoin. Bitcoin crash. Okay, that's good.
Early on,
Okay.
invested in Pogs.
So basically invests life savings to go to space, then gets lost in space, lands on a strange new world. Okay, then bonds with a peacock who's more altruistic than he is.
Well, that's what drew them together.
Okay, and so that the commentary all the time is like, "Are all you humans this? Are you all assholes like this? Good
You're
lord."
worse than us.
Um, uh, okay, so there's astronaut. Okay, so it's not an astronaut. Well, he's a millionaire.
He's yeah, millionaire slash now billion, or yeah, millionaire.
Civilian astronaut turned mayor of a small town.
Yeah, I think you're
I'm going to
considered
say
it.
former rich civilian astronaut. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I feel like the definition of astronaut doesn't mean you had to have gone through the training. It just means you have to. Wasn't it?
Well,
I
I can
mean,
say
we
space tourist.
a person whose profession is to travel beyond the Earth's atmosphere. So that's the actual one. But this came up when William Shatner
Yeah.
did the space thing, and then they were like, "Well, now you're an astronaut because you went above this certain level of the atmosphere." And then other people are like, "He's not an astronaut. He didn't train with NASA," kind of thing.
Well, because there's cosmonauts, right? And that's the Russian version of an astronaut. So
Mhm.
so that does imply that it has something to do with it's more of a but why don't we just say a formerly rich civilian space tourist
Yeah,
turned mayor of a small town?
yeah.
Okay. And so heroically, Peacock, bonded Peacock.
Should we specify it's a space peacock?
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. It believes in the autonomy of humanity and seeks to fight other alien species trying to dominate humans. Okay.
I could see one of the really funny parts of this series being the peacock observing how humans do their mating call and like strut around and go to the gym and try to get giant muscles and
Sure.
buy expensive cars kind of thing.
So let's see. Has this informed us on what the name of our character is a little bit more? Pope. I like Pope is that's like a name that his parents would give him. I can see that,
Yeah,
but it could be
for I
just
can
like
like there's definitely some strange names that parents that are of rich families give their kids.
so like Pope Carlson or something, or Pope. What would be a good last name for a rich guy? Worthington, Pope Worthington. That's like the angel. Let's see, Pope. Uh,
Um,
oh, what if it's a
um,
butler's name? Like Jeeves Pope.
he would legally change it. Stop with the ads already. Oh, the name Sailor, both for a girl and boy, and sometimes spelled Saylor, seems to be a popular among rich people.
Pope
There's
Sailor, but it's like a last name. Like it could be.
Sailor Jean Gardner is like an example they give, or Sailor Lee, Sailor James.
It could be Pope John Paulson or something like that.
Yeah, that they were really heavy Catholics, and or they thought they were. Um, yeah, Paul's son,
Yeah,
Paulson,
you want to do Pope Paulson?
Pope Paulson. Yeah,
We could do. I mean, should it be Pope Jonathan Paulson or something like his middle name is John?
we could, or we could make his last name start with a C, so the initials would be the same for Peacock Pope
Okay,
Carlson.
Pope Carlson.
That's
You want
this
to
is
do
the
that?
first. That's just that was my C name that just sort of popped up out of my head.
I don't know if I like Carlson so much, but let's
No,
see.
me neither. It's just last
Pope
names begin with
Chadwick.
C. Chadwick is a good rich person's name.
Why don't we do that? And it's also hey, it not that this character has anything to do with the Black Panther, but Chadwick Boseman. Okay, Pope Chadwick. Actually, I think that's a good name. Let's let's go with it. Do we
Okay.
want to have a middle name?
Um,
Because he could go by Pope, he could go by Pop, he could go by Chad, he could go by Wick. Okay, well,
yeah, I'd say let's skip the middle name with 6 minutes left.
Pope Chadwick. Actually, I think that sounds great.
Mhm.
Okay, so this guy, does he have any skills, or because he's rich, is it's just making money? I mean, is he
Yeah,
not good at investing?
it's that line from the DC movies. What's your secret power? I'm rich. Or what's your superpower? I'm
Yeah,
rich.
but he's not rich anymore because he spent all of his money on this
He's
trip.
still well. I think he should still be above upper middle class in his resources.
Well, he should be
Like
marketing. What if it's
yeah,
like marketing?
he gets an allowance from his parents. His parents should still be alive.
Okay, let's see. So resources. That's okay. Okay, so
Is there a resource section?
I don't have a resource section. I probably should make one. But we'll just say that lives off parents, rich parents. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that.
You could put in parentheses still alive.
Because so many, see, the funny
Yeah.
thing is, so many superheroes have dead parents
Right.
that.
If his parents were to die, he would inherit all of it.
That's
So
right. But he's on an allowance.
he's on an allowance. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Does he have no skills?
I'm thinking he has no skills. He paid people to take tests for him in school, and so all of his accomplishments have been bought. He hasn't actually achieved anything. This
Okay.
puts him at the furthest point away from hero as possible, without being a villain, like a real villain.
He's
Just
a hero
not.
because he's got an altruistic peacock on his head. That's why he's
Yeah,
a hero.
it's his
So
it's he now has a conscience, and the conscience is a peacock from outer space.
okay, any equipment? Not really.
Um,
Just it's
he should have like a really fancy car given to him by another rich billionaire as a gift, which was not
it's a hand me
because
down. It was
it's
a
a
hand
hand me
me down
down,
from Batman or something.
yeah, from Bruce Wayne,
From
and
another.
it was. And it wasn't, and the reason it was handed down is the person who gave it to him wanted to get in good with the parents. He actually hates the kid. He actually hates Pope. He sees Pope for being the rich brat that he is.
Hand-me-down supercar from other rich vigilante, rich secret
Secret,
vigilante,
yes.
uh, who hates his guts.
And not in a way of like he's a arch enemy, but as in he's such a horrible person. I don't like him.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the appearance. Okay, the appearance we already got. That has got a peacock riding his head. Okay,
Well,
civilian.
it should be kind of like more like what's that piggyback where the legs of the peacock's over his shoulders,
Okay, riding. Okay,
like when you put a child on your shoulders, kind of thing.
piggyback. Okay. Um, Peacock has
Mhm.
hypnotic eyes.
Yeah.
Whatever that
So
means.
do these peacocks have they evolved to where they have some kind of functioning arms or hands, or is part of the reason that they um, dominated humans with their hypnosis is so they can have access to hands?
I think that's why.
Okay.
I think they use them as vehicles.
Yeah, and equipment to build technology.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because basically because basically what it is they hypnotize the person by staring at them, then they hook them up, with whatever the bio cord is, and then they can control them without looking at them.
Hmm.
I think that's
Gotcha.
the thing.
Gotcha.
So okay, civilian like just I don't know,
Spoiled rich brat.
spoiled.
Mm.
Okay, politician.
Well,
Okay, we haven't done much
that's
world building.
redundant.
So we
Sorry.
do have the parents. Okay, this is under parents. Parents uh, who hold the purse strings. He's got. There must be other. If he's the mayor, he's got his staff, right? Or he's got the
Mhm.
city staff.
Right.
City staff.
And really, that's the reason anything really gets done is that he has a very competent staff who don't
Yeah,
listen to him all the time and actually just get things done.
there you
And
go. So
yeah.
competent, competent city staff that ignores him.
Mhm.
Okay, the enemies are other aliens trying to other
Dominate.
invisible aliens.
Or they could also just be in disguise, aliens in disguise.
Invisible or
They
trying
could
to
be
dominate humanity.
robots in disguise. Sorry. Yeah.
It could be robots, yeah.
Ro-
Trying to
ro-
dominate humanity. Okay, what are the social issues? We got 50 seconds left. What are the
Oh my
social
gosh.
issues?
Just put awe.
Well, that's true. It's like just pretty much politics.
It's everything, yeah. Um
Everything
I
political. Okay.
I think one also at some point there has to be a super villain who knows that this vigilante that has given him the car is a rich person and mistakenly
Oh,
thinks that the peacock must be the secret identity of this vigilante character and starts coming after him, and so it's a case of mistaken secret identity.
enemies of other
Yeah.
of other rich. Oh my
Level
god, we're out of
complete.
time, but I think we
I
actually
think we
got it.
succeeded. Yeah.
So let's just okay, so we've got let's do a quick why don't we do a quick summary here and we'll try to do it as cinematic as we can. So
Okay.
Pope Chadwick was a wannabe Elon Musk, receiving handouts from his parents, who spent all of his money to get a ticket for a rocket ship into space.
But that's when things took a drastically different change, because he became bonded with an alien peacock, a peacock that can control alternate Earth people. So he went back to real Earth and became a hero with the peacock powers.
The invisible peacock rests on his shoulders, and with some effort can become visible and hypnotize anyone who stares into its gaze and flared feathers. Yeah.
Worst pitch meeting ever.
The peacock believes in the autonomy of humanity and seeks to fight and oust other alien species that are trying to dominate humans.
So much as the peacock rests on the shoulders of the Pope, the weight of society and morals rests on the shoulders of the peacock. As a civilian, Pope was formerly a rich civilian space tourist who used his position and popularity or infamy to become the mayor of a small town.
I like the fact that he's got every benefit in the world, and he can only become mayor of a small town. Sort of like he probably tried several bigger towns and
Yes,
worked his way down. Okay. So beware the gaze of the invisible when the peacock becomes visible on the shoulders of our mayor. Beware its gaze. For ye shall be controlled, but purified. I don't know.
The gaze is not all powerful, though. The hypnotism is only active while the person is looking at the peacock eyes and feathers, that's to be worked on. I think we talked about changing that some.
So as the peacock uses its power to purge people of unpleasantness, sure, then of unpleasant aliens, does extraterrestrials, Pope Chadwick's staff chooses to ignore his incompetence so that they can actually get things done on a practical level. So the Popinjay, Pope Chadwick is the Popinjay.
I think that covers it.
How did you feel like we have? Oh, you know what? We have somebody actually watching, and I don't know.
I'm so
nobody
sorry.
Commented.
I'm so
But
sorry.
No chats. There's no chats. So okay. So we didn't miss any. I have the control panel usually on, so I don't always catch the chats. So, all right. Well, I think Troy, are there any revisions you want to do, or do you feel like we're pretty happy with this?
I think we're going to revise the power so that it isn't that the person has to always be looking at the peacock, but it's the peacock has to always be looking at the person. This is kind of minutia in the detail powers.
Okay.
What we
it's only active.
Activated upon
the only person. Okay. So the hypnosis. Okay. So hypnotism activated when person looks,
gazes upon tail feathers.
Gazes upon the tail feathers. Okay, gazes on the tail feathers.
And only remains active as long as the peacock can see who they're hypnotizing.
Okay. Okay. So long as the peacock can still see the, I don't want to say victim. I guess that's what it is.
Target, victim.
The target. Thank you. Okay. I like that. But everything else, you're feeling? I feel pretty good about this character.
I like this character.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I would watch a show with him or read it.
Well, this is, one thing Terrance and I do is we actually get back together and we brainstorm a six episode or 6-issue story arc. I'd be interested to see what kind of a story arc we would come up with a character like this. So, all right. Well, I think that's it. Why don't I do my outro here?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Um,
I jumped in to see if anybody had commented it. I don't see anything yet here, but that's something had I been thinking ahead of time, I would have done, because I try to do that with my show to make sure that we see stuff. Well,
oh yeah.
whoever was watching, thank you.
Oh, there are two people watching now,
Oh,
apparently.
that's me. The second
Oh,
one was
that
me.
was you. Okay,
So
you're
I'm
on.
thanking myself for watching
Okay.
this. So.
Well, okay, I'm going to read the outro here. Well, that's it for this episode, but we want to hear from you, true conceivers. Oh, I forgot to do something. Hold on. I got to put up this. There we go. All right, that's it for this episode, but we want to hear from you, true conceivers. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? Leave us a comment or email us at heroicpod@gmail.com, and we'll respond to your feedback on upcoming episodes. Don't forget to show your support, share, subscribe, or just hit that like button. It all helps. And that's a wrap. Keep on hero smithing, true conceivers. We'll see you next time on Heroic Origins, which maybe we may be doing a New Year's show if I can round up a bunch of people. So you're invited, Troy. We'll talk about that once we're off the air. All right, here we are. This is our outro music. Good point. Troy, do you want to say farewell?
I wasn't
good at
gonna.
this. I'm so good at this. Hey, Troy, thanks for coming. Thanks for
Oh,
coming. It's been great having you on.
you
Do
bet.
you want to? How can people find you?
Oh, very easily.
Just
And
just
usually
hire a
pretty
private
happy.
investigator.
Exactly. Well, you just look in the phone book.
Do those
Yeah, if
exist
you
anymore?
yeah, at least in electronic form. So we will. I would recommend going to Facebook, or if you prefer, you could use YouTube or Twitch, and just type in Rocky Mountain Geek Tank, 4 words, and it'll take you to where we are. Just like and subscribe there to keep up with us. Shoot us a message if you'd like. If there's topics you'd like us to cover or such, we're open to that kind of stuff too. Thanks
We
for having
should
me on the show, man.
maybe I could guest on your show and we could talk about the Popinjay, and actually we could come up with storyline for the Popinjay. Could be
Try to pitch it
crossover.
to yeah, pitch it to my co-hosts.
Yes. All right. Okay. We're gonna go. Thank you, Troy, once again.
Thank you.
This is a super fun time, and we'll see you all next time.